So we're back at the same project and I'm continuing it. I've done a little bit of an edit. One thing I didn't show before is that it highlights the numbers that have changed. So here we have 8 on the end. If I click on column 9, we have a 9 over here on row 2. So I wanted to indicate that this grid, the numbers change. The second column starts with a 10 if I click here. So I highlight those just so anyone learning to use this times table will see what changed highlighted. Because if I go like this, I could probably highlight the ones that are removed. But okay, let's say if I go like this, I add another row, then none of the prior rows are changed. Only the new rows are changed. Whereas if I remove or add a column, we have to look over here to really notice what happened with the numbers, that all these numbers changed in order to get to 70 in this case. So now I'm going to make another change. I want to see if Gemini can handle this. It's basically hard coding the grid size for 10 by 20 and 100 by 200. And I want the width to be grid CSS or something like flows so that on mobile, I don't want to have to guess the number of pixels that are optimal. Plus, it's not centered. So with fixed grid, it's just not, it doesn't look great. It would look great if it was fixed or if it was 100% width with a little tiny bit of a margin. So I'm going to try and do that. And the reason is I'm testing, is vibe coding, how far does vibe coding go? And so this is a very simple application. So does vibe coding even work at this level? And the AIs have gotten a lot better. I think it might be able to. I'm really going to try. This is where I want vibe-ish coding to actually work. I'm hoping for it, even though regardless of all the other stuff I say about vibe coding. So let's see, that works, but I want it to be, so it takes some, let's see, it takes some thoughtfulness to really spell out what you want so that we don't want to limit the capabilities when we're specifying what we want. So I think I'm just going to be quiet and type this out real quick. I've added some text here to explain it. I'm saying that works, but the width is fixed. We want auto width for the grid, 10 by 20. The 10 by 20 and 100 by 200 should both be autofill width with room for the edge numbers. We probably want to use CSS grid to allow the browser to do the sizing. The cells should still be square. The 10 by 100 by 200 will be too wide to display all the numbers, so we only want to display every fifth number, and the interim numbers should display on hover over only. Well, I didn't put only in there. Maybe I should. So I'm not sure if every fifth, maybe that should be every 10th, but let's see. I'm going to wing it here. There we go. And we'll see what we get. This could be good. Both times I've done this, it says, okay, here you go. And then it hasn't changed any of the code. And then I'll have to say, did you change any code, and prod it to actually change the code. So we'll see if that happens again. Let's see. Remove tailwind config block. Not standard. We'll see how this turns out. But so I think vibe coding can be used for proof of concept at a first level of complexity. where you just want to, like, there are a lot of products like this for kids how to learn. They have those little grids where they push the silicone button back and forth and they can count the times tables that way. I like those, except they don't really do this kind of calculation here that's available in my multiplication learner. And those things sell. So someone had to make the silicone mold, and then they had to print the things on there and try to resell it and say, this is this is going to help you learn multiplication table. I don't think those, I almost bought one. I'm ready to buy one. I'm not really knocking those things, but I don't think they're sufficient to actually help a child explore the times tables. I think this will help a child explore and understand the multiplication table. And it's autofilling it. It's actually making the change now. So we'll see what that is. I still don't see a CSS file, but this is just how it chooses to code right now. So we'll see if that even gets anywhere near what I am looking for. So 10 by 20 looks good. They're still square. Let's try some numbers. There's 7 and 5. 35. Cool. Now let's try 10. It's doing a little here. That's interesting. That might be okay. It's kind of doing what I was saying to do on the 100 by 200 grid, but it's doing it here, which I think that's not too bad. I probably want these filled out because I think it's going to help the child explore the numbers a little better. This is almost like guess mode. Maybe it could be for a tutorial, guess the number between here and here, that kind of thing. But I don't think it's version 1 optimal to have to hover in order to see the numbers. Now let's try 100 by 200. I clicked on it. So every fifth number does look a little tight. I might go with every 10th. So I'm probably going to have to work on this. I'm hovering over. I don't see what I'm expecting to see here. And then it's really slowing my mouse down. I'm not sure if that's JavaScript. I'll probably have to go through here and see what's happening. So it might be bogging my browser down, or it might be because of the large number of tabs I have open. Put this on pause. See if I can fix this. I think the 10 by 20 is pretty good action. That works pretty well. But when I go over to the 10 or 100 by 200, it's not working well. But I'm going to say this is the fault of my spec, really. So I need to clarify the spec a little bit, and I think I'll be able to clean that up. But it is definitely, as far as vibe coding, I think this is where it kind of breaks down, in that you really need to think through what you want it to do. My thinking through here didn't quite add up to a good UI on the 100 by 200 grid. There's overlapping squares. The squares are actually overlapping. I think that might be the problem. They're still possibly the same width, but they are overlapping. And I think that's what's causing my browser to hang. So I've got some work to do. I'm going to do that, and then I will do a separate video on how far I get.